Hey everyone, welcome back to Reading in the Dark. Byron here. This video is going to be my November wrap-up. In November, I read nothing. I read nothing. In November, I literally did nothing. Wait a minute. Wasn't I on a reading break in November? Didn't I actually post a video about that? How can I do a wrap-up of my reading in November if I didn't read anything in November? Wait, this is ridiculous. I can't. Hang on, just a second. Let's get real for a second. I'm gonna be a little bit more real with you guys. Hang on, I'm just gonna grab this guy. Okay, and then we're just gonna move over here. There we go. That's better. Okay. So, welcome to the real deal, folks. That lovely Zinfandel, maybe? I don't know. I posted a vlog recently called Vlog, Why I'm on a Reading Break. And, you know, it was filled with lots of honesty and stuff. And I talked about how after my party, I got into some home improvement stuff with my office. And I was sick and I was busy and I just didn't feel like reading. I felt like doing anything but reading. And that's true. I also, just a second, said in that video that I would be back to my reading soon. And that, Phillip, really? Every time I start talking into a camera, my dog needs attention. Dog. There's the ball. Yeah, that's what he needs, but it's not going to happen at this exact moment. He just dropped it in front of me. Isn't that weird? Every time I start talking into a camera, you think I'm talking to you. So, what I also said in that video is that I would probably be back soon. And I also said there was a possibility that I might get through the books that I was currently reading, which were Dracula, The Wild Inside, The Persian Boy, and also the books in my November TBR, which included then the conclusion of the Mary Renault trilogy, which is Funeral Games, and then Carved in Bone by Jefferson Mays, Interview with the Vampire by Anne Rice. I had a lot of books and I was like, I mean, it's not outside the realm of possibility that I could get through those things in November. Is that what I said? Let's just check the tape, shall we?
Still that it's still possible that I could get through the 3 books I'm currently reading and the rest of the stuff on my Halloween TBR and even the majority of what I put down for my November TBR. It's not outside the realm of possibility that I could get through all of that, depending on how I'm feeling in the days and weeks to come, because there have been times when I've read that much.
Okay, I can't listen to any more of that. So that's not true. That is not true. That did not happen. I did not get back to my reading soon. That was the 7th of November. It is now the night of the 29th, but technically the 30th of November. When I wake up tomorrow, it'll be the 30th, but then the next day when I go back to work, it will be December 1st. So November is basically over. Cheers. Here's the thing. I had a big Halloween party. I had lots of people over, and I basically transformed my entire house. My coffee table had a weird Halloween tablecloth on it and was all taped up. I moved my furniture around so there'd be more room for people. You know, I cleaned up from the party, which took maybe an hour, not a big deal. But then I also have people over every Halloween to watch the movie Halloween. And then the next day, I just decided to just boom, just take Halloween decorations down and move on with life. And so it became a big project to put everything back. And in doing that, I sort of got bitten by the bug of home improvement. And that's why I got into the redoing my office thing. I also got into replacing the vanity lights in my bathrooms. I painted my bathroom. I put in a new light. I took down the mirror. I put in a different mirror. I did the same thing in the other bathroom. I took down the light. I replaced the light. I took down the mirror. I replaced the mirror. I painted the bathroom. I hung the TV in my bedroom. I did all this stuff. Stuff that was on my list for a long time. I had things on my to-do list, a couple of which were sort of those quote impossible tasks that people talk about when you're depressed, that there's a simple task that you have to do becomes really hard to do. I don't know that I would say I have been depressed, but I am not a fan of November. I love Halloween, and as soon as Halloween is over, I always have post-Halloween depression, like in this meme right here, which is like speaks to me. And I kind of would say November is my least favorite month because I'm not a fan of Thanksgiving. Partially because the faux historical origins of American Thanksgiving that are sort of imposed on the holiday irk me. And although there's nothing wrong with having just a national day of Thanksgiving, my family is also thousands of miles away, so I don't get to like sit down and have a big dinner with them or anything every year. So it's kind of like Thanksgiving is lost on me. So I sort of loathe November. I don't like fall. I live in Florida because I love hot weather and green, lush vegetation and everything growing. And I would rather it be 96 degrees and humid every day with a thunderstorm at 4 p.m. than have seasons. Like, I don't need seasons. Like, I mean, you know, if it wants to be cool for like a day, fine. If it wants to snow, that'd be cool, but it's never going to do that. It just gets to be like 40s and 50s, and I just kind of don't dig that weather. I don't like dead leaves on trees. I don't think they're pretty. I think it just means that stuff is dying. So I'm not a big fan of November. And so I wouldn't say I'm depressed, but I would say that I got into a rut partially because of that. Phillip needs me to throw him a ball. He can play soccer for a second. Oh boy. There's going to be a new segment here on Reading in the Dark wherein I'm going to have multiple tennis balls. And one of them will signify one book, and the other one will signify the other book, and my dog will choose my next read, and that'll be fun. There he is. There he is. Oh, he's so vicious. Dangerous. I'm gonna knock shit over. Oh my goodness. So I did all of those things, but I wasn't reading, and I didn't feel like reading during all this time. And frankly, it was nice. I needed to refresh. It took a lot longer than I thought it would, and here we are, and it's almost December. I even had some crises of faith, wondering if I was going to continue to do a booktube channel or if I should do some totally different kind of channel. What I have decided is I do want to do a booktube channel. And every once in a while, I'm just going to bring in a little bit of like my life into the video. And if I feel like posting something about my dog or whatever, then maybe I'll just do that so that I can always have content to share with you and so that I can remain interested in doing what I'm doing. I'm always going to be reading. And I have been reading Dracula, just I haven't been reading it like a booktuber. Like I've been reading it very slowly. So that is kind of why this took so much longer than I thought it would. Another reason that this all kind of came about, and one of the reasons that I think I needed so desperately to do something differently and get into all of these home improvement projects, is that I had read so much in a short space of time. I did the Spookathon reading challenge, and I actually read 7 books in 7 days, and then I was really ambitious with my Halloween TBR. But now that it is almost December, and I'm going to drink on this, just demanding. I am now officially ready to put back on my reading hat and get back into my reading full time. You'd think I had that planned or something. I'm gonna destroy everything with this tennis ball. It's like late, Phillip. Why do you want to play? He's like, you're filming a video. I have a video that I'm editing on The Woman in the Window, which is not a book that I loved, but I liked it fine. But I'm annoyed that it is so popular, and I'm annoyed that it is like leading the boards in like the Goodreads Reader's Choice. I'm sure it'll win Best Thriller, and it doesn't deserve to. But so I was frustrated by that, and I'm gonna do a little review on it because I meant to do a review on that a long time ago. There's a lot of books that I meant to do reviews on, and I never did it. I never did the reviews because reviews are actually the hardest videos in the world to do, because like I want to do right by the author, and I want to be fair, and I want to be well researched and know what I'm talking about, and I don't want to be negative just to be negative, and I don't want to be negative just because a book is popular so that I can stand out. It's just hard to do. So anyway, so I'm going to be editing that video for the next year and a half, and it'll come out soon, hopefully in the next few days after this video. And then in December, I considered joining the 'Tis the Season-a-thon, but I don't really like the challenges. A warm and fuzzy book, like there's nothing I want to read that I would call warm and fuzzy. Holiday book, a book with green or red on the cover, for funeral games counts. A holiday book, a short book. Those are all the same thing. Like I'm going to read Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, but I'm going to read it in one day because it's A Christmas Carol. So there's just nothing super exciting to me about that challenge. So I'm not going to do 'Tis the Season-a-thon. So what I am going to do though is talk a little bit about the books that I want to read soon and what I'm doing now. So let's go ahead and put this back in its spot. This video wins the award for trashiest video I've ever done. Great. So, now that we're back in the regular setup, I've got the read hat on, I've got my wine, and I'm ready to talk about books. I am currently reading Dracula. I am almost halfway through. I'm having a great time reading Dracula, and I still love it. I am really anxious to read Powers of Darkness, which is this really neat thing that happened where they discovered that the Icelandic translation of Dracula from 1903, I believe, or maybe it was 1902, actually included what appeared to be a foreword by Bram Stoker. The book is not just a translation, because somebody who they found the foreword and they translated it into English so that they could find it, because it appeared that maybe Bram Stoker was, closely involved in the translation. And then someone checked another part of the text and realized that there were a lot of different things going on in the story in Icelandic, and some of the character names are different, and the story is condensed and it's sexier. So basically, the Icelandic version of Dracula, which appears to have had Bram Stoker's seal of approval, is a slightly different version of the novel. It's sleeker and shorter and different. And so it's been translated back into English and is being called Powers of Darkness. Oh, and then because of that, they also discovered that there was also a Swedish translation of Dracula, which was published in 1899. Now, Dracula was published in 1897. And there was a translation in Swedish in 1899, and then the translation in Icelandic in 1902 or 3. So who knows what there is to maybe be found in the Swedish version, but there's definitely a very different version of Dracula published under the title Powers of Darkness that I want to read. And I don't know that I can read it right away after I read Dracula, but I certainly am curious to read that. Rereading books is such a wonderful joy. I love it because I already know what's going on. I've forgotten some of it, but I'm not confused by anything because I've been through this before. I just love the whole sweeping narrative of the story, and you start with these people in this situation, and then these people in this situation, and then these people in this situation, and then they all come together, and it's told through letters and journal entries, and it's just the neatest book in the world. It continues to be a favorite, and I'm really relieved because I was worried that I would say, oh God, this is boring, or what was I thinking? I thought I loved this, and I don't. I do. I love it. I just think it's so wonderful. So I'm having a great time with Dracula, and obviously I'm going to read a lot of it tonight as soon as I'm done with all of this. And as soon as my dog has finished chasing the ball another 7 or 8 million times, and then hopefully finish it during these days off, or at least in the next couple of days, so that I can do what I've been saying I was going to do for so long, which is to finish that damn book by Christine Carbo called The Damn Wild Damn Inside Damn. Insert stronger swear words here. Which I like, and it's fine. But I just need it to be done. I gotta find out who tied that guy to that tree. It's very important. So I'm gonna read that damn book. Sorry, Christine. And then I am going to finish The Persian Boy by Mary Renault, which I really like. That's the funny thing about this whole reading break, which, let's be honest, I think it's funny that I called it a reading break because it clearly was not just a reading break. It was actually like
the great reading crash of 2018.
That's really what it was. The whole time that I had been not reading and thinking of other things, I've been so excited about the books that I'm currently reading and about the books that I'm going to be reading soon. And yet I still just was like, I love that book. I can't wait to read it. Let me go do this totally other thing instead. I don't know why. So I am actually, I'm enjoying Dracula. I'm looking forward to finding out, all the answers to the quandaries and the mysteries and the questions in the world inside. And then finishing the Persian Boy and then finishing that trilogy with Funeral Games. And then I'm really excited to just pick up some other book. I don't know what I'm going to read next. I had the short story collection called Greetings from Moon Hill picked out for my Halloween TBR, but that's a Halloween book and I'm not going to read it now. So I'll probably just save it till next year, unfortunately. And like Anne Rice, like the Interview with the Vampire, I don't want to read that now. More vampires. No, I don't want to read that now. So I'm not going to read that. I really don't know what I'm going to read next. I can say that the one book, well, I'm going to save that for my end of the year book tag because I have some ideas of like what I want to be sure that I read before 2019, but I'm not 100% set on it. All of a sudden, now that I'm about to be done with this video, my dog has decided he's ready to go eat. He's eating his dinner. He's a jerk. Okay, so anyway, that's my video. This will be the end of this little journey. This video will mark the end of me talking about
the great reading crash of 2018.
And the next time you hear from me should just be a normal video where I'm talking about like, my reading for December. So I appreciate all of you hanging in there with me. I'm sort of amazed that I only lost one subscriber during this like gigantic break that I've taken. Thank you for hanging out and believing in me. Thank you for being here and watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button. When you have 38 subscribers, those likes mean more than you can imagine. And if you love it and you'd like to see more videos like this, subscribe to my channel. That would be super cool. And until next time, I will be here in the dark reading. I promise. Also, cheers. Bye, guys.